up to 87. We can be seen on Channel 20, that's our team. Oaklander, gotta love that. Oaklander, wanna see that. Oaklander, Oaklander, Oakland TV. We love it! 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 Oaklander, Oaklander.
Yes, go.
Good evening and welcome to the Oaklander. I'm your host, Al DiGiacomo. May is a special month for our show. Next Monday night is the 300th anniversary show. We hope you will tune in and make sure that you tell your neighbors and friends. May is also a time of year for junior and senior proms. And to our teens who have made the grade, we wish you much success. And as you enjoy these rites of passage, I hope you will accept the responsibilities and remember, don't drink and drive. Now, the Valley Health affiliates, in conjunction with the Oakland Health Department, will offer hearing and vision screening for preschool children on Wednesday, May 17th. At the Oakland First Aid Building from 8:30 to 4:30. Contact Karen Dybalik at 337-9254 for an appointment. On to other parts of our access area. We invite viewers from Franklin Lakes and Wyckoff to join in if you know a story or a bit of little-known history of Oakland. Please contact us. The Oakland Chamber of Commerce Awards were held on April 26th at the Timbers Restaurant. Let's go to Long Hill Mall, where Greg Schuss talks to Business Person Award winner Drew Vitrolano. Greg?
Happy birthday, Oakland, 300th anniversary. Very, very nice town. Been here for 20 years, and I love it. Love it.
Very good. Thank you very much. And what are some of the favorite things that you have about Oakland?
Oh, it's a great little town. I've been associated with ShopRite of Oakland for 20 years. Even though I don't live in town, but I'm a neighbor of the town. It's got a great recreation center for the kids. All the customers and everybody that are living in the town, they're very, very friendly. It's a great little town. Everybody's very friendly and there's always something going on.
Well, thank you very much for allowing us to come down and tape today, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Outstanding Service Award was given to a chamber member, Joanne Tweedle. Congratulations to all the winners. In March, we had Frank Scardo, and many wanted to hear more of his fascinating life with us again. Is Frank Scardo. Frank, congratulations on the Community Service Award. We are all certainly proud of you. Back in May, we had started off, we had talked about some of the earlier parts of your exquisite life here. Let's go back a little bit. What was the average Saturday night like in Oakland in, say, 1935?
Saturday night in Oakland, it was pretty a busy town at that night because the trains used to come from New York, and they used to unload here in the Oakland station, and then there'd be 8 or 10 taxis to haul everybody to West Oakland, down to the colonies and all the bungalows, and they had a merry old time down there on Saturday night.
Was Main Street paved at that time, or was it still
Yes,
dirt road?
it had blacktop. It wasn't blacktop, it was tar, you know,
Okay.
they tar and then stone it and all that. But also they used to have block dances, what they call block dance. You know what a block dance is?
Where everybody from the block comes out and dances.
They take a block and they shut it down so no cars can come through, and
People
then
bring out food.
and they have a dance, and they have a merry old time. They're open all night, so it's a thing to have fun, you know, for people that live in town.
You had told me a little story about one of your favorite places in the area was a place called Cowtown Ranch. What were the type of things that you did there as a young man?
I used to know, I had a good friend of mine, he was Ted Allen. He was a world's champion horse thrower, you know.
Horseshoe.
Pitcher. So anyway, this guy, I brought him over there, you know, and they had guys that could play horseshoes really good. Them old-timers could play. So Ted and I we'll play the winners. Well, this guy just throws ringer after ringer, you know. He turns around backwards, throws them over his head, and they land ringers, you know.
Okay.
These guys were going crazy. And then guys would hold matches like that together, and he'd light them with the horseshoe.
Oh.
I mean, he was accurate. He was really good.
What other type of activities did the summer guests?
But they had a little rodeo, a little wild stuff to ride. I used to ride a bull there, or a bucking horse, you know, or something like that. For the customers that she had, there was a woman named Mildred Myers used to own that, and she was a nice gal. And a lot of cowboys there. I remember a fighter fought Joe Louis, and he got beat pretty bad.
Oh, well, I can
and
understand that.
That's where he stayed. He came there and stayed. He was from England,
Really?
you know, and he stayed there. So we went over to see him anyway.
These bungalows, how much did they really cost for maybe a week or for a month when most people were making 70 cents a day back then?
Yeah, I know, but they used to rent them. They didn't hardly pay anything for them, you know, to rent them. You know.
Really?
Yeah. Just during the summer, couple months they rented them. But they had a lot of fun down there because a lot of those people were stage people, you know, Broadway show people that used to come up and for recreation.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
A lot of people from New York City.
They loved the sun. They loved to lay in the sun down there, and that's what they did, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, back as a small boy, you started off as being quite a daring man. And in the spring, the Ramapo River would naturally flood, and you and some friends decided to have a little adventure on the Ramapo River.
Yes, that was quite a ride.
Tell us about that.
4 of us, we got in the canoe, and we started downriver, and we got down to the falls down in Pompton. The falls are still there, but when the water was swift and flooded, the stream did not drop right off. It went way out, and I thought, oh, we can make that. That's nice, you know. But you're a kid, you know. You don't know the dangers, boy. I tell you, we got in there, and off we went down that thing there. Boy, I tell you, that was a ride and a half.
How old were you when that happened?
No, I was only about 14 years old. And one guy fell out, so we had to rescue him because
Really?
we found out later on he couldn't swim a stroke.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you were introduced to rescues at a young age.
That's
huh?
right. Oh, man, that was something that scared me. Plus, my father, he'd like to kill me when I came home. He found out about it, you know.
Well, let's see. At this point, maybe you're growing a little older. You had everybody had a first car,
Yeah.
right? And your first car was a Model T.
Yeah, Model T.
Tell us a little about
I had a
Lizzie.
Model T. We called it a Lizzie, yeah. And I cut it down. I made it like a racer, you know. We took the part of a canoe. We put that for the rear, you know. We formed it, you know, with canvas and everything. And it looked like a little old-time racer, see. But I had some friends, you know, that wanted to ride, and I used to take them for a ride, anybody, all over the mountain.
Well, you had a special Hollywood friend that used to like
Yes,
to ride around in the
I
woods
did.
with you.
Cecil DeMille. He used to live what is called Terhune Drive now, across from the nursing home that's still there.
Now, this is director Cecil B.
Yeah.
DeMille.
So I used to take him for a ride. And I'd go through the woods, you know, over the rocks, through water, and the poor guy was holding on, you know, but he got used to it, you
He
know.
enjoyed it.
He enjoyed it. He had more fun, and I'd call him up. I'd say, you want to go for a ride? Yeah, come pick me up, you know. It was a ride just to get to his house through the woods, you know.
I'm sure.
But then I had an experience with him when I got in service. I called him up when I was hauling troops over the West Coast, and when I got to Hollywood, I called him on the phone. And the guy was with me, you know. Oh, you don't know him, you know. I said, no, all right. I called him. He said, stay right there. I'll be right there. He came right over and picked us up, boy. That was a thrill because he took us through the studios, everything. Oh,
I'm sure that was really something
what
for
a
your
meal.
friend.
Yeah. Nice man, boy. He was a nice man.
Now, you've spent some time on a movie set yourself.
I did, yeah. He always used to say that, you know, why don't you come over and work for me, you know, and all that. But I wanted to be free. I don't want to be tied down, you know. But it's the way you are when you're a kid.
Well, as you started to grow a little bit older, you and your two brothers, you toured the country in a Daredevil act called Thrill Show.
Yeah, we did.
And tell us a little bit about the tricks that you would perform and
Yeah.
some of these fascinating little stories.
We'd buy junk cars and then we'd head on them, crash them, see, head on, see. But we also know that we never head on a car no more than 35, 36 miles an hour, no faster than that.
No, that 35
The
miles.
belts we had them days would not hold you. The straps wouldn't hold you, see. That's as far as the strap would hold
And
you.
those are especially rigged then because
Yeah, you'd
seatbelts
go
were...
flying, you know. Before, we used to head on, what we used to do, we used to jump off out of the driver's seat in the back of the seat, see? And then when you head on, you didn't get hurt that bad. You got hurt, but you didn't get hurt that bad. You didn't
Oh,
break
my
any
God.
bones.
What other,
There's quite a feat to jump in the back, you know.
what other types of Daredevil?
Then we had, I had my brother laying on the hood, and we had 10 cakes of ice, and he'd have a helmet on, and we'd go through the ice, going about 40 miles an hour.
And this was toured all through the country.
Yeah, and we had that. Then he used to jump a car over 3 buses. You know, we had a ramp, we built a ramp, and they used to jump over 3 old Greyhound buses. Plus, he had a motorcycle jump the same way.
Where did you get the cars in the... and
Junk cars. You know.
So you would
There
pull
are
into a
plenty of
town.
cars, yeah.
Go to the junkyard.
Yeah.
Say,
That
I
would
want
give
that
you
one, I
another
want
go.
that one, I want that one.
Yeah.
This is
They'd
incredible.
give them to you. They won't do it today anymore.
No. Today is not the fun days anymore. I would...
some of those cars would, you know, you have to figure it all out. You just don't, you know, you pick it, take off. Like, he used to lie down on the ground, and then we'd come around the arena, ride right over him, you know. But we really, the front wheel did not touch him at all, or the back wheel, because I'd have a little takeoff there, see, about an 8-inch takeoff, you know, like a little tiny ramp. As soon as you hit that, that would raise you up and keep you in the air until you went over them.
Did any of you...
One day it didn't work that way. It fell on him. We got him.
I was just about to ask
Yeah,
that you
we
ever
got
had-
him. Broke all his ribs on one side.
What were your two brothers' name? I don't believe I know you.
Poncho Scardo and Tony Scardo.
Tony and Poncho.
Yep.
Well, at this point, you're off to World War II.
Yeah.
You're on your way to Europe. You're signing forms, getting injected and inspected, and at that point, you're telling the Army what you've done with your life. And tell us who you drove around in Europe.
Oh, I drove like General Bradley. I had him for a while, you know. And
General Omar
Omar
Bradley.
Bradley. He was quite a general, very smart. Boy, I tell you, he was really good. Nice general.
As far as generals go?
Yeah, he's, you know, he wasn't a nasty one, but there was a lot of nasty generals, I'll tell you. Whenever I ran into a general, he was always yelling at me, you know, do this, do that, you know, hurry up.
Now, this is on the front lines.
Yeah, we were, the first time I met him, he says, we're going to go look for a division. It's been lost for 3 or 4 days. I couldn't believe it. A division lost, right?
How do you lose that?
How do you lose a division? So I said, okay, we'll go out through the desert. So we went through the desert. I followed tracks. I picked a set of tracks and we went. I found him. We found him, you know.
Was there much fear knowing that you were with one of the, he was a 4-star general, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
was
you're with a
good, but-
four-star general. I mean, you do realize that you're a target at this point.
Yeah, I know, but we all knew that. They brief you up on how to handle the general. You know how you're the first man in the vehicle in case there's a bomb or something in it. You know, and if it blows up, you blow up. See, the general.
Yeah, we kind of
Gets
know
away
how
with-
that goes.
Yeah.
Well,
But he was all right. He was a good man.
he treated you okay?
Oh, boy, he really treated. Best treatment I had was with him, you know. But, you know, we starved in the Army. You know, we didn't have all the food, and they never could get it to us. But with the general, he had his good rations, and he'd split them with you, you know.
Well, I just want to bring it back to the local town here for just a second here. And during the 30s, would you say in retrospect that they were the good old days for Frank Scardo?
Yeah, they were. They were good old days. We didn't have pocket money, but we still had a lot of fun.
I know that there are stories that you had told me. It's just fascinating stories that I have with Frank about Applejack on Long Hill Road.
Yeah, the man used to make Applejack up there, and Mrs. Hanover, I don't know if you know her, but they have Hanover shoes, you know.
Okay,
She's a big...
sure.
Anyway, she used to rent the historical house in Oakland, you know, the old historical house.
With Chris and Ann Curran?
She used to
the one
live...
now?
No.
The Van Allen
the
house?
One, yeah, Van Allen house.
Okay.
She used to go in there and stay there for a month and watch checker play. She could beat everybody.
No kidding.
Nobody could beat her. And she'd send me up to this guy that made the Applejack, and I'd bring her back a gallon, you know.
No kidding.
Yeah. She loved her Applejack.
Well,
But he knew how to make it, though. It was really good, you know.
Frank, there's one thing that I must ask you, and we're going to bring you right back up to the present now, out of this time capsule that we're in here. You're probably the most informed man in the area about the Ramapo Mountains.
Yes.
Regarding the Riverbend project, do you know if they're going to be blasting?
I don't think they're going to have that kind of blasting like 287.
But if they do have blasting, do you think that will alter the pattern of wildlife and the snake problem in there?
No, because they're not going to do heavy blasting like the 287 did, you know. Be minor things, I think. Today they don't use the blasting like the quarries, you know, where they
Sure.
make big chunks come out.
Well, I know that some of the folks were a little anxious to ask
Yeah.
about someone who is knowledgeable as you
Yeah,
were.
I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to set them houses right on top. It's not going to be much digging.
Well, Frank, listen, I know tomorrow night that you're going to be having your own award there, but the Oaklander would also like to present you with the certificate of appreciation, Frank. We've got all of our names signed on it,
Oh, that's good.
and I'm going to show it to you there, and I'm going to have it framed for you because you are a most fascinating man I've ever
that's
met in
pretty
this
nice.
town.
Yeah, that's really nice. Very good.
And it really has been marvelous, a marvelous learning experience just to talk with you. And let's
Yeah.
get together again.
Okay.
And now it's time to see what's going on in town with a public service message break.
Good evening. My name is Carmine Peretti. I am the commander of Oakland Memorial Post 369 of the American Legion. I would like to take this opportunity to remind everyone and invite one and all to come and remember those who gave much for our country in time of war. In cooperation with the Oakland Public Events Committee, we will observe Memorial Day, 1995, on Sunday, May the 28th, with what we are planning to be an outstanding parade at 2 p.m. As part of Oakland's continuing 300 celebration, our plans are for floats, bands, and other new interesting added attractions in the parade. It will start at Spruce Street, proceed north on Ramapo Valley Road, 202 to Maple Avenue, and disperse in the Copper Tree Mall parking lot. To all members of various organizations, please, please join with your group and make this parade to be remembered. Following the parade, we would like everyone, and I mean everyone, to return to Veteran Park at Oak Street to observe and share in memorial services, remembering those who made the supreme sacrifice for all of us to have what we have today. This is a vital moment of dedication for everyone. We should all observe. So please mark your calendar for Sunday, May 28th at 2 p.m., and we'll see you all there soon. Please, and if in case of rain, services will be held at the American Legion building at Oak Street, New Jersey. Thank you.
Oakland will be celebrating her 300th anniversary with a Founders Day celebration on June 4th, beginning with a brick path dedication at Rotary Park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be burying a time capsule in the park, and any suggestions for this can be directed to the Oakland Public and Cultural Events Committee at 405-7737. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the 300th anniversary continues with a special Arts on Broadway musical review and art show. This will be at the Indian Hills Auditorium and will be featuring the dynamic sister duo of Liz Calloway, who currently is Grisabella on Cats, the Broadway show, and her sister Ann Hampton Calloway, who's a winner of many cabaret awards and other performances. Liz has earned Tony nominations for her appearance in Baby in 1984 and Miss Saigon. She's been in Three Musketeers and many others. Her sister's credits include appearances at Carnegie Hall, the Rainbow and Stars, and the Estrada Theater in Moscow. In addition to these performances, Oakland will present a celebration of Oakland and her artists. This will include some of Oakland's most talented artists, and information about this can be directed to Peggy Dressel at 337-2143. Another type of art featured for Oakland's Tercentennial will be Oakland's Tercentennial quilt on display for the first time. And this reflects the work of Norma Saville and Dixie Francis, comprised of squares depicting Oakland scenes, individuals, and organizations. Tickets for Arts on the Broadway will be $10 and will be obtained at Borough Hall or by calling the McDonald's at 405-7737. There's limited seating, and if any is available, they'll be available at the door.
Hello, I'm Sue Madison with the American Cancer Society. I'd like to invite all of you to join me at the 8th Annual George Washington Bridge Challenge on Sunday, June 11th. This event is for bikers, walkers, and runners, and it's sponsored by NatWest Bank, Englewood Hospital, and WNEW-FM. If you'd like more information, please call 343-2222. Now, here's Al DiGiacomo riding in his 4th GWB Challenge.
Thank you, Sue. It seems that every year I ride at the George Washington Bridge Challenge, there's someone special in my thoughts who has cancer. This year it's my best friend's mother. My friends and family and co-workers at Oak Height Products pledge what they can per mile, and don't worry folks, I only ride a 10-mile ride. So if you would like to pledge per mile, call our number at 405-1083. Give us your name, a number where we can reach you, an amount per mile, and we'll contact you. Thank you so much for supporting this event. Welcome back to the program. Our next guest is also a second-timer on the Oaklander. Please welcome Voice of Concerned Citizens Alliance, or Vocal View, Ms. Carolyn Card. Welcome again, Carolyn.
Thank you, Al. It's nice to be back.
Thank you. The leaked story in the Suburban News on April 19th was named the Odors from Tamarack. What do you know about the hydrogen sulfide gas? Is this a natural breakdown of organic material?
I have no idea about that particular gas, and I didn't see, apparently, the story that you're talking about. But the thing that I am concerned about is when I read that there is possibly some sludge that has been dumped up there. And if there is sludge, and if sludge means what I think it means, that is the leftovers from a sewage treatment plant, I think we have a really potentially serious problem. So that's the thing that I'm waiting for. And I called the borough administrator yesterday to find out whether or not we have received any reports, and we still haven't received any reports about that.
When might that be expected?
I would hope within a matter of a few weeks. I don't know why it's taking so long. I don't know, perhaps some of the tests are kinds that they just do take a long time for the test to be performed, and on the other hand, maybe it just is backed up. I don't really know. I don't know that you'll ever get a straight answer on something like that, but I'm very anxious for it, and I think that anybody who's concerned about our drinking water should be.
The site of the dump, has the cleanup effort started in any?
No, not to my knowledge. As far as I know, they're still working on taking borings and taking tests from some of the different areas. And I think the story is that they will have to wait until they find out exactly what is there before they can start taking it away, because certain types of toxic materials have to be taken away in a certain method that will protect as much as possible the soil around there. So I think that in order to take anything away, they have to know exactly what it is they're taking.
To where it's going to go?
That partially, yes, but also from the aspect of how to take it away from here. I mean, if you have something that's extremely toxic, you're not going to casually bring in a backhoe and dump it in an open truck.
No.
So I think for both reasons, I think both as to where it's going to go as well as to how it's going to be taken out.
Okay, now, because of the location, because of our aquifer system, isn't the chance of, if there is something toxic in there, isn't the chance of it leaking into the water table?
Well, this is, of course, has been my main concern ever since I first found out a bit about this last July. And the water enters, or the toxic material enters the water system through two different ways. One is that it can come down from the top of the hill, coming all the way down into the river, and then the other way is through rains and so on, leaching down through the soil. And with the leaching, that will partially go into the river, but it will also go into the aquifer. And as I think I explained last time I was here, our river has both a positive and a negative flow with the aquifer, which means that at certain given water level times, the aquifer flows up into the river, and at certain other times, the river flows down into the aquifer. So that the DEP told me years ago that anything that goes into our river eventually ends up in our drinking water.
What has the Boy Scouts done to help rectify what has transpired?
That's a very good question. I think they've really done about all they can as of now, which is to hire the people, the engineering firm, which is conducting the tests. I think their name is Danes and Moore or something similar to that. And I really think that at this stage of the game, that's just about all that the Scouts can do until we find out exactly what and how to remove.
Well, I'm sure our viewers would like to know of who will clean it up and who will pay for it.
Well, that, of course, is, I would hope there will be no question as to who will pay for it. I certainly would hope it would not be the citizens of Oakland. I would think it would be the Boy Scouts or the people who did the dumping themselves, but certainly I do not think it should be the residents of the town to pay.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit, but only slightly. You seem to have quite a grasp on environmental issues. I understand that you are going to be the field reporter in this area for New Jersey PIRG.
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 Yes. That stands for Public Interest Research Group. Just recently, the group, which has operated very strongly in New Jersey for clean air and clean water, and that is how I have come to know the group. I've worked with them. I've gone to rallies with the group and written letters on their behalf and so on. And they have really been a wonderful force for the clean environment in New Jersey. And as a matter of fact, it is a federal organization. There is one where my one daughter lives in Florida. There's also a Florida PIRG. And my son lives in Massachusetts, and there's a Massachusetts PIRG. So I can sort of get my hand in on PIRG no matter who I go to visit.
Will this also be in conjunction with the vocal group?
No, this I will be doing on my own, because what the project that they're getting out on, they asked me if I would be the chair of the committee for District 40. There are 40 districts in New Jersey. they asked me if I would be chair for the district in terms of contacting newspaper, anyone from the different media about their new agenda, and they call it a citizens agenda, which basically is to try to get money out of politics. Their ultimate goal will be to limit the present $2,500 maximum donation to people running for office to $100, and that would go from the lowest level in a town up to governor, that they would try to get the money out of politics. And you know this is going to be a tough fight. So their goal is to get a different individual to represent each of the 40 districts, so that the people getting the memos and hearing the interviews and reading the story will realize that it's not all just coming out of one office in New Brunswick, that this is a widespread goal that we have.
Well,
and excuse me, but I just wanted to say that since it is political, this is definitely a political move. That's why I cannot do it in my role as president of Vocal.
Well,
so I'm doing that as a citizen.
I'm sure that we can trust you on that one by far. Now, Vocal sponsors a $250 scholarship to CPAC at the Indian Hills High School.
That's right.
Being that you're not paid for writing Vocal View, how is this afforded?
Well, mostly through our membership drives. About every other year or every 18 months, we do a town-wide mailing. And we ask for a $5 donation or dues from the citizens of the town to help us go. And we have a lot of expenses, which people don't realize. The mailing itself costs us about $700. So that's a big chunk right there. But fortunately, we have the last 2 drives that we did, we have had wonderful responses, so that we've had enough money coming back to do some of the various things that we do want to do. And Vocal as a group belongs to almost all of the large environmental organizations also, and we pay the dues out of that and so on.
Well, I think it's good. I think with the 300th anniversary, people are becoming energized. I think people are becoming energized across the country, and we hope some good will come of it.
I sure hope so.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of our neighbors. The low water pressure problem near Comanche Drive. Has there been a resolution to this dilemma?
Yes, there has. I had originally received a phone call from a woman up there, and she had spoken with a number of her neighbors, and their water pressure was just absolutely terrible. So I telephoned Charles Smiley, who is the head of the DPW, and he said yes, that they have known about this for quite a long time, and that in fact he had already put in a request to the council for the money, which is about $99,000, to correct this problem. And it was the kind of a problem, literally, that if you were brushing your teeth upstairs and someone turned on water downstairs, you didn't get anywhere to brush your teeth with.
You didn't get any water.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
In
that
some of the
low.
houses, in some of the houses, it was that bad.
Is it an elevation problem?
I
or
don't
is
know. I don't know what the problem is, but he said that they know what to do to correct it, and that just as soon as they could get the authorization of the money. So I called the woman back who had originally phoned me and told her to get together as many people from her neighborhood as she could, because the more people that you have that show up at a council meeting about any one given topic, the more likely it is that you're going to get some attention. So they had between 20 and 25 people show up that night, and I suggested to her that since no one, whenever you do have a group go in, everyone doesn't speak. So I suggested that she ask everyone who was with the group to stand up, so that the council could realize that there were quite a few people there for that specific purpose. And the first night, the council kind of, the woman told me that they felt very put off by the council, because they were saying, well, we've had this big water study and you're going to have to wait your turn and so forth and so on. But evidently the council had a change of heart, because at the next council meeting 2 weeks later, they voted to appropriate the $99,000 to fix this problem.
Well, it seems to be not a whole lot of money in today's world. I hope they're not going to be just putting in some PVC from Rickles. But well, here, let's talk about something a little lighter. You have a friend named Judy Vahansky from the Valley Middle School, And could you tell us a little bit about the YES project?
Well, Judy is a friend in the environment. The YES project is Youth Environment Seniors, and I had worked with her a few years ago when the kids were going around and painting blue fish on all of the storm drains. And they also conduct a twice-a-year cleanup. As a matter of fact, there's one coming up in May. I think it's May 8th, but I'm not positive.
That's the clean sweep?
Yeah, right. And that will appear in the column, so that I hope that many people will join. And they want volunteers from any of the adults who have any spare time that day, and the kids, and they all go out and they pick certain spots in town and they clean up all of the litter that's been lying around the place.
I would love to find who throws all the Burger King cups around my corner,
Sure.
and Budweiser bottles on my lawn.
Get your video camera out there some night.
Now that's an idea.
But Judy has been doing this work with the environment and these young people for a number of years. And I was so thrilled on her behalf to read in the paper that she has just been named Volunteer of the Year by the State Department of Environmental Protection. And I think that's a marvelous honor.
That most certainly is. So we're looking for some volunteers out there. Well, we're out of time for tonight, Carol, and we hope you have enjoyed the show. And before we close, what's up? Sorry, we have some late-breaking news here. I've just been handed a press release. A concert version of the Broadway musical Chess with symphony orchestra will be performed on May 9th at 8 p.m. at the Indian Hills School in Oakland, New Jersey. The performance will be conducted by Broadway's Nicholas Serrato and will feature soloists Sylvana Falone, Gabriel Naziola, Ferdinand Roderick, and the Indian Hills Choral and Concert Choir. General admission tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for students, and will be available at the door. The box office will open at 7 p.m. For directions to the school, call the school at 337-0100 during the day or 337-6433 in the evening. Well, we hope to see all of our friends at the Memorial Day Parade and the Founders Day celebration. For the Oaklander, I'm your host, Al DiGiacomo, and we'll see you next time.
Little bombs in a wreck, a burnout at both candles. Perfect, what does suspect? It's more than he can handle. Now he's headed for a breakdown. Conjure the warmth of flames, feeling lonely. Conjure the warmth of flames. You can revive and take the time. Conjure the warmth of flames. Conjure the warmth of flames. Little bombs in a wreck. He totaled his Mercedes, his arm permanently set to play an open E string. Now he could have had a breakdown. Conjure the warmth of flames, feeling lonely. Conjure the warmth of flames. You can revive and take the time. Conjure the warmth of flames. Conjure the warmth of flames. Photograph cassettes remind him his love for music hidden deep inside him. Doing more of what you can't does not make a strong human. Turning around this time, project feeling fine. Conjure the warmth of praise, feeling better. Conjure the warmth of praise, you can revive it, take the time. Conjure the warmth of praise. Conjure the warmth of praise. Photographs and old cassettes remind him his love for music hidden deep inside him. Doing more of what you can't does not make a strong human. Turning around this time, project feeling fine. Conjure the warmth of praise, feeling better. Conjure the warmth of praise, you can revive it, take some time. Conjure the warmth of. Conjure the warmth of praise. Conjure the warmth of
Happy birthday, Oakland! Hi, Mom.
Hello, my name is Tucker Platt. I'm from Valley Middle School here in Oakland. I am the director of the Community Service Project here at Valley for this particular year. With me this evening are the two co-representatives from Valley Middle School, and we would like to tell you a little bit about our project for 1995 spring.
Hi, my name is Susanna Henry, and I'm a co-representative of the Valley Middle School 8th grade service project for the year 1994 and 1995.
Hi, my name is Allison Siegel. I'm also a co-representative for the 1995 school year.
This year we have done a few projects such as helping clothe the homeless, collecting toys for tots, Safety Town, and Eva's Kitchen.
Some of the recent projects have been the Town Easter Egg Hunt, the Manitou Spring Fair, and we wrote a letter to the legislator to continue funding for the free lunch program.
This May we plan on collecting clothing and toys for the Safe House in Patterson.
We also need some summer clothing for children of all ages as well as men and women.
Last year they collected everything from baby toys to tricycles, bikes, and rollerblades.
Our drive is on now, so if you could call 337-8185, we would be glad to pick anything up.
Remember, the number's 337-8185.
That's here at Valley Middle School.